BTS's Jimin is reportedly furious. Not because of a major national issue, nor a personal one, but because of something he finds extremely disappointing. Jungkook, his fellow group member and close friend, left him without notice just to greet fans at a convenience store. This incident sparked a wave of debate among fans and even briefly threw the typically disciplined military setting into chaos within minutes. Was Jungkook's action justifiable? Was Jimin's reaction too much? Or is this actually a true glimpse of the pressure idols face during their mandatory military service? The incident occurred at night when the military unit where Jimin and Jungkook were undergoing joint training was given a short break. According to internal reports, Jimin and Jungkook were relaxing in the canteen, casually chatting about training and laughing over the little things that had happened throughout the day. However, without much talk, Jungkook suddenly stood up, grabbed his jacket, and walked away with just one sentence: "I'll just be a minute." Jimin, who wasn't given any further explanation, initially thought Jungkook was heading to the restroom or out for some fresh air. But that wasn't the case. Minutes later, a shocking report came from a fellow soldier outside the unit. Jungkook had been seen at a convenience store beyond the military complex, surrounded by fans who apparently had learned of his location through social media. They brought cameras, phones, and even small posters. Several fans reportedly screamed hysterically upon seeing Jungkook. Inevitably, the atmosphere at the convenience store, which should have been calm, turned into an uncontrollable crowd scene. One of the soldiers on guard in the area even reported to the commander that the situation was unmanageable. What made the situation more complicated was the fact that Jungkook left his unit without following official permission procedures. Jimin, known for being highly disciplined during his military service, reacted strongly. According to an internal source, Jimin reportedly said a sharp line when Jungkook returned to the dorm. "You left your unit just for a selfie with fans? Do you think this is a concert?" Jimin's anger didn't stop there. He was reported to have refused to speak to Jungkook all night and instead chose to do physical training alone the next morning, even though it wasn't scheduled. One source mentioned that Jimin felt betrayed, not out of jealousy or because Jungkook met fans, but because Jungkook had broken an important military principle: responsibility toward the team. Public response was split. Most fans, especially rational armies, regretted Jungkook's decision. They viewed the idol's action as impulsive and risky, both for his own safety and for his fellow unit members. Social media was filled with hashtags like #RespectMilitaryDuty and #ProtectJimin, signaling public support for Jimin's firm stance. However, many fans also defended Jungkook. They believed the idol simply wanted to show appreciation to fans who had been waiting a long time, even during his military service. "He didn't mean any harm. He's just a human being who wanted to say thank you," wrote one user on X, formerly Twitter. Even so, the issue of privacy remains a major concern. This isn't the first time Jungkook has faced privacy disruptions during his military duty. Previously, he was also followed by fans during outdoor training, and even once received an unknown package at base. However, this time was far more complex because it involved a personal decision that led to internal conflict between members. HYB, BTS's agency, has yet to release an official statement. However, a South Korean military official reportedly summoned several unit personnel for an internal evaluation regarding the incident. If procedural violations are found, Jungkook could face administrative sanctions. Now, the big question is, will this incident affect Jimin and Jungkook's relationship going forward? According to a Korean pop culture analyst, conflicts like this are not uncommon in military environments, especially when public figures with added pressure are involved. However, considering the emotional closeness among BTS members, this issue will likely be resolved internally, although for now, emotional distance may be inevitable. What's the important lesson from this incident? First, that military service is not a break or limited fan service period for idols. It is a national duty requiring full discipline and loyalty. Second, that fan pressure can have real effects, both mentally and socially, on members. And third, that the public must learn to distinguish between supportive love and disruptive obsession. Amid all this chaos, one thing is clear: Jimin's anger is not just a fleeting emotion. It's the expression of a friend who feels abandoned in a shared responsibility, and of a soldier who seeks peace while serving his country. Jungkook, with all his charisma, now needs to reconsider how he interacts with fans during military service. Meanwhile, Jimin shows that even love for ARMY has its limits, especially when discipline and respect in the military line are at stake. Yet behind all the euphoria and excitement sparked by circulating information about the alleged mistreatment of BTS's Suga and Jimmy Fallon's response to the situation, a fundamental question arises that we must all ask. To what extent have we, the public, been able to separate truth from sensationalism in today's digital era, where information flows rapidly? Through platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, now X, and various online media, it's essential for us to question the validity of every piece of news we encounter. Did this event really happen? Is there concrete evidence supporting the widely spread narrative? Or is this just a media construction, a narrative deliberately created to drive clicks, stir controversy, and sway public opinion for certain ends? We need to ask, does this information source have journalistic credibility? Is the viral TikTok video from a direct eyewitness, or just a clip taken out of context? Do the narratives built in viral articles truly reflect factual events, or are they filled with biased interpretations that blur reality? More than that, we also need to reflect on why such news spreads so quickly and draws so much attention. Is it because it involves the big name of BTS and international figures like Jimmy Fallon? Or is it because our society is increasingly hungry for drama, controversy, and emotionally charged conflict? This is where the urgency of critical thinking becomes vital. The information we present in this article, although sourced from popular media, still needs to be tested for truth through a skeptical and methodical approach. A viral incident is not necessarily a valid one. The popularity of a narrative cannot be a measure of its accuracy. So the next question is, are we becoming passive consumers of unverified information? Or are we capable of being reflective and critical readers in processing the news we receive? We do not claim that this incident is entirely fictional or otherwise. Instead, we encourage readers to join in examining, investigating, and questioning. Where does the truth lie in this report? What are the motivations behind the virality of this issue? Could there be hidden interests at play behind the scenes? Could the involvement of big names like Jimmy Fallon in this narrative actually be a media communication strategy to increase reach, shape image, or even divert public attention from more substantial issues? We also need to ponder, if this news turns out to be a hoax, who benefits? And who is harmed? What are the psychological and social impacts of spreading unverified information on public figures like Suga, who is currently serving his country? Have we, the public, contributed to worsening the situation through our unawareness of how powerful social media engagement and virality can be? Every paragraph in this article intentionally inserts elements of questioning, not to confuse, but to provoke thought. We want to encourage all of you not to stop at one point of view. Don't be satisfied with just viral narratives. Don't be easily swayed by the popularity of an information source. Instead, push yourself to read between the lines, dig into motives, and seek verification from trusted sources. Have you ever thought that maybe, just maybe, this entire narrative is part of a highly sophisticated marketing strategy? Or could it be a form of social experiment testing how quickly and widely information can spread? Regardless of its accuracy, as wise readers, we are challenged to always be reflective. We must ask, why do I believe this information? What is the basis for my conclusion that this news is real or not? Have I compared it with official reports, press releases, or clarifications from the relevant parties? Let's remember that in the modern communication world, perception often carries more influence than objective truth. Therefore, Building awareness of media manipulation and equipping ourselves with strong digital literacy is the key to protecting ourselves from misleading information traps. To close this section, we remind you once again, the information we present comes from various media sources and has not been fully verified. Therefore, we invite you, the readers, to think critically, filter information rationally, and not immediately believe every piece of news you encounter on your screen. Be an active, skeptical reader who,